Team Talk Podcast, episode 45. Myself, Samuel Law. I've got Stelios with me today.
What's going on, people?
Yeah. And newcomer, first timer, Shahab.
What's going on, everyone?
Yeah, Liverpool fan.
Yeah, Samuel, thanks for having me. I've been wanting to come on for a while, so thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, good to have you here. We'll go straight in. Emirates, Arsenal, Chelsea. Stelios has got a big smile on his face. Why have you got a smile on your face, mate?
Smash and grab. Smash and grab. Awesome victory for us. Much needed. Was very concerned towards the end of the game when we were 1-0 down, considering Tottenham dropped points. I think the fight for top four was very important. So this win was a big win. It was a very big win for us, but totally undeserved, if I'm honest. But I'll take it.
Well, not even a point. You just reckon the win was undeserved?
No, I think.
Because second half, you lot played well.
This is it. So I won't even say second half. I say beyond that. I think the minute we changed the shape, when Jorginho came on, we became the dominant team. And Arsenal, the reason why Arsenal fans are feeling bitter is because that's the best defensive performance they've seen of their team. Yeah, and that's just because Arteta he set them up really well. And yeah, you know, like obviously when we started the game, we started with the 3-5-2, which we found success against Tottenham. But then since we played it against Southampton, we didn't look that great. We didn't look that great today at the start of the game. But we changed it back to the original 4-3-3 and we dominated the game.
I mean, you said bitter, but you know, before we talk about the actual performances, let's just talk about the talking point. I mean, the main one is the Jorginho second yellow. Yeah. Shahab, is that a second yellow? Is that a sending off?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we heard Graham Souness when we were watching it saying it was a bit harsh because of the way he fell over. But by the rule book, yes, it is a second yellow. Then he gets the goal, which is not just the goal, but he got the free kick for the goal as well. So it's a bit mad. He changed the game, to be fair. Yeah. Probably in the first half, they put it back, like you said, 4-3-3. Yeah, for answer to the question, it was a red card.
So who did Arteta bring anyone on to combat Jorginho? Because I know he brought Ozil off for Willock late in the game, and Willock dropped, but he didn't really combat that.
React. So this is it. Arteta didn't react to the 4-3-3 change, and I think Arteta's a smart guy. He's worked under Pep, and I think he knew that Lampard was coming into that game with that 3-5-2, and he set up his team accordingly. They were so compact. They literally blocked the midfield. They had Ozil and I think Nelson either side of Kovacic. So whenever we try to play out the back, quickly on him, we're trying to spread it out wide. We're going long all the time. Zuma's going long, Tomori's going long, and we're just losing possession. We kept on kicking it out. And for Lampard to make a change after 30 minutes, you know that he's like, look, this is going tits up. We need to change something now.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that was evident today was the pressing. Arsenal were pressing. I see Aubameyang at left wing back. Like, the players are working. Also, everyone worked today.
Yeah, it's something I actually want to talk about. I was actually quite impressed from what Arsenal were doing pressing-wise. I see you were saying you probably felt it was a smash and grab. I can understand that, scoring 2 goals in 4 minutes. But I think that was probably the most impressive thing for Arsenal's performance. However, I still feel like Chelsea did enough to get something in the game. And obviously, you got those two goals. I'm quite well, obviously Arteta's new. I think for the second goal, for him to leave that much space, and he should know that, to be fair. Okay, cool, it's his second game, you can't be doing that, and he knows with those players you're leaving it so wide open, and obviously you guys punished Arsenal, and but yeah, I was impressed with Arteta.
You don't think that it's 1-1, like, you know, he's thinking that we're at home, the onus is on us, let's try to go for the win. You reckon he should have kind of taken the point, or you reckon, because they were flooding forward for that goal. I mean, they got hit on the counter. It was 3 versus 3, 3 versus 4, basically.
3 versus 3.
3 versus 3.
Yeah. I mean, 3 versus 2 because Mustafi's one of the 3 for Arsenal, and he's just the ghost player. Like, I mean, I agree with you. Arsenal had to go for the goal, go for the game, but I think the amount of bodies they committed forward, and it's, you know, the amount of players they have in the box. You've got to have at least a few people sitting on the edge. You've got DMs there for a reason. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, the DMs were there, but when it fell to, was it Tammy? I mean, he just...
Yeah, he turned well, and it was a counter-attack. But then, if the DMs are doing their job, then it will never be we won't just be facing 3 defenders. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think they just committed too many bodies forward, too many players in the box. We hit them on the break, and I'll take the goal.
Would you, Shahab, if you're an Arsenal fan after this game, are you more confident? Because like my sports group, it was mentioned that they would rather have just lost a big game today than losing this manner, because it hurts basically after seeing your team play so well and then not get nothing from the game. Is there like positives to be taken from this result
100%.
and performance? Sorry.
100%. In terms of performance, I didn't think they were sensational and then properly shut down Chelsea. I mean, they were compact in moments. I was really impressed with the pressing, maybe because I watched Liverpool for so long and I know how well Liverpool press. But when like you said, we saw Aubameyang literally like a left back and just tracking back, and so I think there's a lot of positives there for Arsenal, and they should be excited towards till the end of the season, at least with the pressing. But in terms of the performance, I think probably a draw was probably the fair result, and obviously Stelios, you'll be delighted to get that smash and grab. But yeah, I'll definitely positives in terms of the pressing. I've never really seen Arsenal do that before. There's a lot of lazy players, and so I think they can be beaten down.
So what does that say though about, because that a lot of these players, you know, now they're working hard. I'm sure Emery wasn't saying, yeah, you lot should just when you get the ball, see what you can do. I'm sure he was saying press.
It's all about energy. They had no energy, Arsenal, and they created the energy with the pressing, and I respect that. I have a lot of respect for that, and shacking back, and like I said, when Chelsea.
No, but I'm saying, why weren't they doing it like previously? How come it's
like I think it's a new manager. Like, it's essentially you know, Arteta's come in. He's a young manager coming with new ideas, and I think it's like the team are probably sick of, you know, happy to get rid of Emery because they didn't look happy up for 2 years. So it's like enthusiasm. It's like, okay, do you know what? It's a big game. Arteta's first game. Let's go for it. And I think it's the best defensive performance I've seen from Arsenal. And to be fair, the players actually look like they've been told what to do, as opposed to when you watch Arsenal under Emery, where the players just look clueless. Like, everyone seemed to know their role. Everyone seemed to know where they need to be. Knew exactly when to press, when not to press. It was an organised Arsenal side. I think Arsenal fans should be take the positives and be excited from this performance. Obviously, it's just one game.
But do the players kind of get deflated from this? Like, we work so hard. We're going to talk about Arsenal versus United later. But in terms of, like, we worked so hard off the ball, we did everything that was asked, and we still didn't get nothing.
But then that's it. Like,
the players going to feel deflated.
They got let back in the game by a mistake from Leno. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? If Leno doesn't make that mistake, it's still 1-0. They see it out. Do you get what I'm saying?
Reckon they see it out? Even
they would have seen it out. I think it was because then they wouldn't have committed that many bodies forward for the second goal. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they're 1-0 up. They defended. That's what
but Chelsea were knocking the door. I mean,
we were knocking on, but we didn't look like scoring. Okay. We didn't look like scoring the whole game, and that's my problem with Chelsea right now. Like, we don't look threatening. We don't look threatening. Like, even the performances, everyone's saying, it's one of the best performances of the season. Chelsea beat Tottenham 2-0. Blah blah blah. I was happy to win. We looked great and we were dominant, but we weren't.
It was individual brilliance from Willian.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. One individual moment from Willian where Aurier slept, and a penalty. But other than that, we wasted so many chances that game. So many. So for me, I don't think that we would have scored if Arsenal hadn't made that mistake, because I don't think they would have committed that many bodies forward. Arsenal for the whole game defended with 11 men behind the ball. That's why Aubameyang's defending left wing back, and then you got Lacazette playing centre midfield. They defended with 11 behind the ball. They looked organised. Well played to them. But unfortunately, it didn't succeed.
Yeah, I think they will be deflated, of course. Of course, the manner, like you said, you guys are speaking on the chat, and they'd rather get smashed than lose in that manner.
But if you got smashed and you lost like 4 or 5-0, how do you go into United? But it's likewise as well. You can also lose a game like that and put so much in and be like, but
it's fair enough. It's fair enough what you're saying. You got a fair point. I think one thing in terms of the manager with Emery and Arteta, obviously I've seen and read a few stuff as well. Like when you see Torreira as a number 10, he wasn't playing number 10 today. So again, he was playing his natural position, and I thought he had a really good game for Arsenal. Yeah. And just little stuff like that. Arteta, it wasn't rocket science. Obviously, Arteta saw it, and he had to put him back in that position. But in terms of the energy and willingness to get the ball and to stop Chelsea. Obviously, they were sloppy for at least 60-70 minutes of the game. So that's why I think there's positive signs for Arsenal in that aspect. However, I still think we are yet to see the best of Arsenal going forward, which I think have not been good enough at all the last 18 months, let alone last season. So we'll be interested to see what Arteta does.
Stelios, Chelsea. So obviously you said that you don't see a threat right now, but How do you see? Okay, so we're halfway now.
Yeah.
Like, how would you assess Lampard's Chelsea?
At the start of the season, I openly said it. Like I said, I just want Lampard to finish as high as he can. Like for me, we've overperformed from my expectations. So I'm happy. I think any Chelsea fan who's upset about where we are is ungrateful. Because bearing in mind we're coming in with a very young squad. We've got a lot of young players who are
No window.
Yeah, that's it. No window. Well, now we've got the January one, fortunately, but we didn't have one in the summer. So we've gone in with the squad we have. We've got young players. I mean, Lamphy that came on today as well. Another youngster that, to be fair, I hadn't seen him play at youth level, but he came on today. Looked as soon as he came on and Tomori came off, he seemed to have shut down Aubameyang, matched him for pace. So yeah, it's an exciting time for Chelsea, and I'm happy with how Lampard's got Chelsea so far.
All right. Well, we're off that topic, innit?
No, to be fair, saying that, I mean, like I said, we don't look threatening. Yeah, that's my main concern. And I think in January, the January window is coming up at a good time because since the international break, I've noticed a massive change in form. The momentum that we had running into the break is completely gone. Now, this is a big statement, yeah, but what I've noticed is we looked a lot better when it was Jorginho and Kovacic.
And not Kante.
And not Kante.
You know, I knew you was gonna say that. You know,
and it's. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, you can't drop Kante. Kante is he's an amazing player, but going forward and control of the game, we look better when Jorginho and Kovacic are on the pitch. Do you get what I'm saying? Even today,
but wasn't it 4-3-3?
But then when you keep Kovacic, Jorginho, and Kante, then you let go of a player like Mount or
so an attacking midfield. So instead of a triangle mid, it's a flat three mid.
You know what I'm saying? Because Kovacic going forward isn't great, but what he's good at is controlling the game. He gets the ball, and that's why I compared him to Modric.
So let's I'm just gonna bring something to you because obviously my brother's a Chelsea fan and he actually doesn't mind Kante going further forward with the ball, and obviously the energy this guy has is insane. Yeah. But don't you feel like with your front three, or sometimes I've seen Mason Mount drop back in a midfield role as well. Yeah. Don't you feel like the front three could be the issue? Because I listen, Willian is a great player. I find him a bit frustrating at times. Yeah. Pulisic came in eventually, fantastic player, who I'm a really big fan of. Don't you feel like the front three should be where you feel like, yeah, I'm a bit 50-50 and you feel like the front three should be performing better? Because I think all three of the midfielders do well. Don't you think that your front three is the main issue where Lampard can look in January with Sancho?
Yeah, I'm with you, the front three, but go on.
So to answer your question, 1,000% right. Like for the front three, we don't look threatening. And I know Tammy is scoring goals. He scored today. Well played to him. But I am still not convinced. I am not convinced yet. I don't think he's the answer. He's only 21, I think 21. But so he's got time to develop. But he's not. I don't think he is. I think we can get a better striker. I think if we want to be back competing where we were, a European elite, I don't think Tammy's the answer. Left side, right side. I think we need to bring. We still haven't replaced Hazard, so we haven't got that threatening winger to in this team. Hudson-Odoi since signing up, well, I think it's the injury. Since coming back, he looked poor. He looked poor against today. I mean, he had good moments against Arsenal, but he nearly cost us a goal. Cost us a goal against Southampton. He keeps losing the ball.
They're saying Sancho though to Chelsea.
I wouldn't mind Sancho. I wouldn't mind. I would love Sancho. I would love Sancho because that's what we need. We need someone who can come in and unlock the door in big games. Like someone who's going to create 4 or 5 chances for Tammy. Because to be fair, as much as I put pressure on, I say I'm not convinced by Tammy, who in the team really is creating like chances for him? The chances he gets, he scores them. Like I can't complain too much, but I need a striker who can take the game by the scruff of the neck, aggression, like
Diego Costa,
Drogba. Those are the guys that in the big moments that can step up and unlock the door for us. So
there's not a lot of them about though. No. So it's hard to.
And that's why for Tammy, first season in the Prem, like as a number 9 for Chelsea, he's delivering goals. So what we need now is a player like Sancho who's going to create more chances for him, and hopefully we'll see that in January. Even as Zaha, I wouldn't even mind Zaha coming in. He creates so many chances for people at Palace. Like let him come in and he wins fouls. He's always getting into the box, looks threatening. That's what we need.
I mean, we spoke about Arsenal. They got Man United on Wednesday, so they've got to re-energize. I'm not sure if you reckon Arteta will make any changes for that game.
Well, it's on Wednesday. I think. Well, Chambers obviously is out because he's injured, so Mustafi will come in. They need to find an alternative. That guy is trash.
How do you see the game going? Because United now 2 wins in a row. You know, very inconsistent side. I would not be surprised if United drop points against Arsenal, having played 2 good games. Yeah. But yeah, how do you see the actual matchup? Because what I would say is, even at the second goal today for Chelsea, the winner, it was counter-attack. That's what United are about. Yeah. And I don't see Pep. I'm calling him Pep already. I don't see Arteta. Telling his players to sit back. They're going to be organised at today, well drilled. But at some points, United are going to get that counter-attack football going.
Is that Old Trafford?
Emirates, which is why I'm saying that.
Well, I think because it's Arsenal, because United are away, they're gonna want to sit back a lot more. I'm gonna go with a draw. To be fair, I think Arsenal will score because Aubameyang's looking good. He's looked good in the last 2 games, and obviously United are just hit and miss. Really, they've been doing well in the big games. Pogba will probably start. Do you reckon?
Yeah, Pogba will start. He didn't play against Burnley. That wasn't on the bench. Nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, my prediction is going to be I'm going to go 1-1.
It's a tough one. I was speaking off the phone, but I think Daniel James is going to be a key part in my opinion. He's like a cheat code on the counter attack. He really is. I mean, I saw him yesterday against Burnley for his second goal, which we've got a bit of luck on it, but. That I think obviously on the counter, how you play, you can hurt Arsenal, and you saw Chelsea, hurt Arsenal today as well. So it's a huge game. Sorry, did you say Pogba? Was he fit or?
So Pogba, he just come out from injury. He hasn't played full 90 minutes yet. He played against Newcastle in the second half when we were already 3-1 up, and then he didn't play 48 hours later, which was against Burnley. He wasn't on the bench, so he didn't play. So I'm sure they're resting him for Wednesday.
You'd play him, but is McTominay injured now as well?
McTominay's out. Yeah, knee ligament.
Yeah, my friend's probably going to be like, oh, you hypocrite. But I think I didn't know what McTominay was all about. But the energy he brings is key. That's a huge miss for Manchester United. I'll go with 1-1 as well. As a neutral and a Liverpool fan, it'll be nice to see Arsenal eventually win a game because they've not done that for a long time. So Daniel James and Martial and Rashford, massive. And if, we saw the space today when Chelsea tried to, when the midfielders are out of the game. And I'll go at 1-1, but I wouldn't be surprised if Manchester United nick it late on. And I'm sure you'll be very happy with that, Samuel.
Do you know what I think Ollie's going to do? I think he's going to bring Lingard in. Lingard plays against Arsenal. He plays well against Arsenal because he plays in that pocket and he hurries their midfield up. So he might play the front 3 of James, Rashford and Martial and play Lingard behind and Pogba and Fred in the midfield.
I think that's what I think. Yeah, obviously I saw him against Watford where he missed that absolute sitter. But the positions he actually gets in,
Did you watch the game against City at Etihad? I don't think Man United win that match without Lingard.
Yeah. But I mean, I've been saying it for years. Lingard's what he does is the energy that he brings. So it's not necessarily goals. He needs to add goals and assists to his game because I mean, for him to have 0 all year, that's poor.
Very poor.
As a professional footballer. But at the same time, he adds that element of energy and movement, opening up space on the pitch. And that's what he's useful for. So just get him on the pitch to do the running, I guess.
Yeah. All right, cool. Listen, this is the last podcast of the year. So it's only right that we brought a Liverpool fan on after the year Liverpool had in 2019. So Shahab, you know what? We'll talk about the game first. Wolves, Liverpool against Wolves. 1-0. How do you think the game went?
Yeah, I think Liverpool probably got away with one in the end. I didn't think Wolves had clear-cut chances. Joe Gomez, Wijnaldum, these 2 players matched Wolves defensively, so we did the job in the end. A lot of VAR talking point, which I'm sure we're going to be speaking about. I haven't, obviously half time now. Another one just happened in the Sheffield United game as well. So, yeah, we got those 3 points. I think obviously we made one change. Lallana came in, who I think did quite well. So, we only played 3 days ago. Intense match. Well, probably wasn't.
And you've come back from World Club. You lot should be tired.
So, I mean, this sort of performance I probably would have expected against Leicester, but it's happening the other way around. And Wolves are a solid side. These guys are taking 6 points off Manchester City, and it's a big 3 points for Liverpool. They've only dropped 2 points so far, and against you guys, obviously. So, we got the 3 points, but I think defensively and the way Trent was playing, who was given man of the match by Sky, did the job in the end. And it's been like that pretty much, where Liverpool have just about done enough in the first half. They probably should have scored 2 or 3 anyway. So, I'm relieved.
I mean, when you're winning the league, when you're going for the title, there's going to be games where you're not playing the best, but you just get the job done. And that's what Liverpool are doing. But
that's why I think Liverpool are just so good. It's just the games that you look at and you think, they're going to draw this game, and then they win it. I mean, to be fair, that it was a bit unfair on Wolves to have that goal chalked out. I mean, these marginal offsides, they are taking a piss.
Let's go there right now. Yeah. This is ridiculous. So they gave offside. Was it Jota?
Yeah. No. I can't remember who they called offside. I think it was Moutinho in the build-up, but was it or Neves in the build-up? One of them.
One of them too, yeah.
But I mean, you're giving offside for that. For me personally, I feel like the referee has to go over and have a look for himself. It's all good and well, someone sitting with a cup of tea in the studio, and they can just make that decision, say, yeah, it's offside.
How can you argue? This is where I get confused and conflicted. Yeah,
his finger was offside.
But look, but it's offside. You get what I'm saying? So the line is there. Yeah, offside means there's an offside rule, and the line shows that the guy has broken the rules. No matter how marginal, the rule has been broken.
Listen, I'm a Liverpool fan, and it's not conclusive enough, and that's the issue. It's not just Liverpool's one. I think yesterday Pookie's one was worse. It's not conclusive.
No,
enough.
The worst for me over this weekend was Zaha. That Zaha one. Listeners, if you don't know what I'm talking about, please just go and check that Zaha goal out. I don't know how they gave offside. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, these lines are not conclusive enough. I get what you're saying. If it's offside no matter what. But the evidence they have in the VAR room is not conclusive enough, and that is the issue that I have. Listen, I'm not going to come here and say, okay, fair enough. The only thing I liked about it was when Neto was absolutely milking the celebrations and it was ruled out. But I think, look, you have to be honest. I mean, Firmino had one for us where he was offside by his armpit. How the hell did he score the armpit? I'm trying it now. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, armpits, toenails, fingers, or whatever. I mean,
if it's a toenail, it's a foot. That's what you use to score. Yeah. I just don't understand where the arm comes into play, where you're both level, but your arm is full. Like, surely common sense has to be used here because they're just gonna spoil football, basically.
So, yeah, I mean, what I think it should be is there's one line by the feet. The ref goes to the screen and either gives benefit of the doubt or says, you know what?
Thank you. Let the ref make that decision.
You know what I'm saying? Because before VAR, there were chances where the ref would, give benefit of the doubt to the attacking player. So
the linesman hasn't given it. Yeah. So
the Liverpool
the team with
it, the Liverpool players were walking back to the halfway line saying, "Come on, boys, let's get back in this," because they didn't even expect anything. So then some guy in the room's just like, "Do you know what? I think that might be offside, and let's check." And then next thing you know, the goal's ruled out. It's not fair.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be feet, like I said. It has to be feet. I mean, the Pookie one for me, I'm still just thinking about it. It gets me angry. I mean, I'm a big fan of Pookie, watching him on the Championship. So to see that ruled out, and I'm not surprised he scored a goal like that, and for a shoulder or whatever the hell it was. I mean, it's just not on. Yeah, it's got to be feet next season or next week, please, because it's just.
I don't think they'll change it mid-season, but it's gonna be.
They've been consistent with no matter how bad it is. They've been consistent with it, which is a positive, I guess.
Yeah. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
What a footballer!
Best right back in the world, or shout out Daps. The reason I want to shout out Daps is because at the start of the season, he was adamant, and I'm not gonna lie, I was with him in terms of me. I want my right back to defend, and he was saying Wan-Bissaka is better than Trent. Yeah, what Trent has been doing recently is nothing short of amazing. I mean, how many assists has he got now?
8. Too many. Oh, he's got 9. He added today. He's got 9.
Yeah, 9. I mean, incredible. What a footballer. For someone who was playing centre mid, right wing in academy, to be playing right back and running a game at right back. That performance against Leicester was probably the best I've seen this season from anyone. unbelievable. You are watching Kevin De Bruyne at right back sometimes, and
That's a good shout, you know, because the way he's whipping them balls in, that is KDBS, bro.
A playmaker right back. Have you ever heard of that before? A playmaker right back. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense.
yeah, shout out Jamie Carragher, stole it off him. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's just unreal. Him, the ball. I mean, you saw quite a few in the first half. The one Salah missed in the 4th minute, it was unreal. He ran that game for playing from right back against Leicester, and everybody, all of our players matched him as well. And that goal summed it up. The celebration summed it up. An outstanding footballer. I do think he's the best right back in the world. Yeah.
But if you're an opponent, if you're opposing team, yeah, and you're the manager, and you're trying to find a weakness in Liverpool.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
it is trend, and I think you saw that today actually with Wolves got in behind him one or two times. But what Liverpool do is the cover, and I'm gonna actually using your team as an example. Marcus Alonso, he's good. He's great going forward. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. Most of the time he is. Yeah. But it's the cover. Yeah. And Liverpool cover for him. Joe Gomez covered for him. That's why I've given him my man of the match for today. And Henderson, Fabinho, Milner, Wijnaldum, Salah even, or whoever it is, Mane, chuck him back. They are the one covering, and Liverpool cover every blade of grass, and that's why the fine details of why Liverpool are the best team in the world, because they've obviously got that tag now. And yeah, so you are right. I mean, you can, you know, and when, you know, Man United fans say Wan-Bissaka is better than Trent, probably defensively might as well. He might be, but yeah, you can't get at him. But what a footballer Alexander-Arnold is, and whether he'll move to centre mid in future, we'll see.
He can easily play there. I can see him playing.
But I just think he's effective where he is, because from centre mid you can't cross.
But you don't have to cross. You can still.
But you're losing that.
No. But he's got more. Like when he said KDB, the reason I smiled when he said that is because it's not just a cross that they can assist other ways.
But that's what I'm saying is, from centre mid, yes, he can play centre mid. Yes, he has got the range of pass to be effective from centre mid. But I think at right back, the crosses he delivers, yeah, even the ones that when no one gets onto it, I think, what a cross that was. Do you get what I'm saying? And if you lose that,
you lose that's not even the question for me. The question would be, would he have the composure to play in midfield? Because the composure required to play in midfield, centre mid, is a different. Yeah, and I'm saying, I don't know.
Well, he played there in the academy. You'll need more time to play there, because he's played the right back for 2.5 years now. I think he can somehow, but we'll see. We'll see. We actually played in one game, funny enough, against you guys. Like, I think it was when we lost in Kiev, and he played centre mid, and he didn't play well. Obviously, like you said, what he needs in a midfielder. But I wouldn't move him. I just, you know, fullbacks are changing now. Fullbacks are changing. You need to be good going forward.
Yeah, I mean, let's look. Wan-Bissaka, as much as I've said he's a solid right back, he definitely knows that the attacking part of his game has to improve. But midfield, as you said, yeah. Now, you've got midfielders in your team that, to me, they all are asked to do the same thing. Yeah. Is that fair to say? Like, they're not, like, keep it simple and get the ball to the front three. Like, keep it ticking if you can, but just the aim is get the ball forward.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you are right. Obviously, it's funny because this season, I don't think Liverpool's, like, you can't say as a collective, all three of them have played a good game, if it makes sense. Last season, the season before that, you'll say, when Liverpool are on form, all three of them are absolutely bang on it.
Is that the front three or the midfield?
The front three. Okay. I think this season, you'd say it's always one of them on form. Whether it's Mane, whether it's Salah, whether it's Firmino. Today, you'd probably say Mane because he got the goal. Yes, the game against Leicester, you probably say Mane again, or Firmino even. Yeah, it's mad. They're a joy to watch. I think what Klopp is, I mean, what you asked me off doing this podcast is, you know, we don't actually have a creative midfielder doing the job for Liverpool. I think what Klopp is actually now doing is he's trying to make Keita and Chamberlain do the work Wijnaldum and Milner and Henderson does. And once they've done that, you will see the fruition of someone who is more or less a complete midfielder. You've seen that with Keita recently, who scored a couple of goals. Chamberlain coming in, obviously he's come back from an injury. But in answer to this question, yes, you are correct, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I think it's great. Fabinho, obviously he's a defensive midfielder. His passing range is unbelievable. Wijnaldum, You guys like the Wijnaldum you see at Netherlands?
Baller. Yeah, the Wijnaldum I see at Netherlands, they play him further forward. Yeah. And I feel like in Liverpool, Klopp just wants his midfielders to keep it simple, and they all do the same thing. One comes out, the other one comes in, does the same thing.
Yeah, and I think I've just come on the other midfielder, Henderson, who has played as a defensive midfielder for a long time for Liverpool now, and has often been laughed at and criticised. But now you've seen him, who's actually moved as a box-to-box player, and has played really well.
Shout out Moobs and Kaz, yeah? The reason I'm saying that is because they're Liverpool fans, and we've been trying to get them on the podcast for a while, but obviously just different circumstances. That's one of the big arguments them and I always have about Hendo. So they were saying, like, let's save this for the podcast, but nah, I'm going straight in.
Well, I'll
Hendo. Let's talk about Hendo. For me, he's improved. Yeah? He's improved. So I'm going to start by saying that. And his leadership is key in that Liverpool side. Why are you doing that face?
Can we really say it is his leadership? I don't agree with that.
He plays with character, and when you play with character, it feeds into other players. That's what I think.
Okay, but he's just the Englishman screaming on the pitch, bro. Like, hey, Stelios,
hey, it's good you're here. Go
listen. The leadership, everyone, listen. Let's be completely clear that the signing of the decade, Van Dijk, is the leadership in that team. It's as simple as that. Yeah, the influence and the change that's happened since the guy came in is unparalleled.
So where would you rate Hendo, like in terms of midfielders?
Henderson has improved. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But they can improve that area. Do you get what I'm saying? They can get someone who will do a better job than Henderson.
Well, they've got two players in that area in Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita, like I was saying earlier. But I'm not having that shout, by the way. He's just the Englishman screaming on the pitch. Listen, I think leadership-wise, it's definitely Van Dijk. It's not just him, Trent, Robbo, Mane, these guys. A lot of people look up to Henderson now because he's been there for a long time.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
What are you trying to call Henderson like a Jamie Noble? Someone that's been at West Ham for time and that. Or what are you trying to say here?
The guy is a mascot. It's like, listen.
No. I'm not going to let you disrespect him like this. Listen. No.
It's pure disrespect, Stelios. Come on. I look at Henderson, like when he's further forward. When you see the
How can you say mascot?
He's a mascot.
When Henderson has played box to box, you see the passes that Trent makes as well. Henderson's got a really good eye for a pass with Fabinho, who's also like that as well.
That's what I say he's improved his game, because I think Klopp has told him, listen, what we want to do is get a solid. Who scored that? Aguero. Yeah. Aguero, solid goal. 1-0 Man City against Sheffield United. I think one thing, like I've said it earlier, Klopp just wants his midfielders to keep it simple. You don't see any extravagance from midfield. Like, you don't see any like KDB in there, or like a flair player like a Maddison, or you just see midfielders that work hard, get the ball back and play it forward, yeah? And for me, it shows when England play, because Henderson doesn't really look like he's doing anything in that England team.
That's because at England, he's just a centre defensive midfielder, and he's got Eric Dyer next to him. And, oh my word, that's not the ideal midfield two pairing you want, so...
So you rate Hendo then?
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Hendo. My Insta name is Shahab Hendo. I've had that since 2012 when I was a little kid. 2013 and 14 season. That's when Hendo, I don't know if you guys even remember. That's when he came alive and was just doing what Stevie G probably did in terms of going forward.
Please,
come on.
I'm sorry.
Wait. They brought VAR out. They brought VAR. Is it going to be a goal? Sorry, listeners, we're just seeing if Aguero's goals were rolled out.
This is what happens in the stadiums. Everyone's sitting there in
But yeah, go on, say it. What are you saying?
No, I'm not comparing him to Steven Gerrard. He's nowhere near the ability of Steven Gerrard. No way.
So what are you saying?
Well, I'm just saying, look, when you see Steven Gerrard used to play in like a number 10 role, and Henderson took that number 10 role when Coutinho wasn't playing, and that's when you saw Liverpool perform just as well when they were playing with Suarez, Sterling and Sturridge. And he's had that type of role quite a lot this season when he's playing box to box, when Fabinho is the defensive midfielder, and that's why you've seen and you saying he's improved, and he deserves a lot of credit. Hendo's my guy. He's really underrated to this Liverpool team, and Stelios, I'm not happy with you calling him a mascot.
Just my final say on Hendo would just basically be the guy benefited from being a young Englishman. And I think, was it Brendan Rodgers that brought him in, or
Kenny Dalglish brought him in.
Kenny Dalglish, obviously wants to build up the Liverpool, always known for having British players. So they brought him in because he had the hype when Sunderland went down. It's like, let's take that Englishman. And he benefited from being the understudy of Gerrard. It's like, you're going to take his place. Now, if
you remember, John George Shelby they had him. Yeah. They thought he was going to do it, but they sold him.
Nah. Henderson was always primed to be the replacement for Gerrard. Me personally, I felt like he never, ever matched up, never really like developed better until this season. Really, this is the first season where I can clearly say, okay, yeah, Henderson is a better player than what he used to be. And yes, he's had a lot of accolades now. He's got a Champions League under his belt. He's got a club championship under his belt. He's
played integral roles.
Yeah, and 100%. I remember the game against Southampton last season when he near enough won the game for Liverpool. So yeah, to be fair, I disagree with myself. Let's say last season is the first season where I've seen Henderson step up. But other than that, I feel that Liverpool can still improve him, like can improve that area of the pitch. They can sign someone else who can do exactly the same job, if not better than Henderson. That's my opinion.
When people say Liverpool can improve in the midfield, that can only be a good thing for Liverpool and Klopp. I really do. So fair enough, I take up your point. Yeah.
I mean, 2019, would you say Liverpool have been the best team in this calendar year? So from January, because you guys haven't lost, have you?
In the league, we've only lost once, which was, I think, the 2nd of January.
Man City.
Yeah.
So that's nearly a year now.
Yeah. It's still going about it, yeah. Nearly a year.
Yeah.
I think, yes, we have been the best team in 2019. We've won the Champions League. We've won the FIFA World Club Cup. All right, we played 2 tides. The intensity that we bring, like I said, we've dropped 2 points all season. It's madness. It really is madness. Of course, Liverpool have been the best, and obviously we're going to talk about the moment of the year or decade. Was it?
Wait. Can you possibly do the Invincibles? Unbeaten, 38 games. Who beats Liverpool right now? Unless the rest of them plays for Champions League on one game where they're off, huh?
City beats Liverpool. At Etihad, when Laporte's back in April, City will give Liverpool a much stronger challenge.
I think Liverpool win that.
I think that's a game where Liverpool probably just take the draw as well.
Yeah, so. If not win, they'll still draw. I don't see City beating them.
I can't give you a definitive answer.
Do you even care? You just want the league, isn't it? You don't even. It's been so long now, 30 years. You just want the league, surely.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's mad. Like you said, you're asking me, do you think we'll be invincible? I mean, you've not even asked me if the title race is over. I know you think
the title race is done. Wait. Are you trying to tell me you still think Liverpool might throw this away? And if they do throw this away, what team is going to take advantage?
Listen, you make a good point. The last one, which teams are going to take advantage? Because Man City and Leicester are not at the level of Liverpool have created this season. I think is. When you look at like a game today, I think it probably is over. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to start booking hotels to Liverpool with a parade yet. We've got a huge 3 games coming up. Sheffield United, who are a very good side, and then we've got Tottenham away, and then Manchester United back to back. And I think if we go to those 3 games and take 6 or 7 points, I'll happily start booking my hotels to Liverpool.
Shahab, even if you lost all 3 of them, which team is winning the next 3 games? Because we've seen inconsistencies in every team apart from Liverpool. So you lot can lose your next 3 games. I just don't see another team going on. Okay, everyone's saying City can go on a run like they did last year. But this ain't the same City team for me, man.
No, of course. You're right.
Yeah, I just think the gap is too much for any team.
They've even got a game in hand, I swear.
No. Okay. Yeah, there's no. Hold on, yeah, they have.
They've got a game in hand. Yeah,
they got a game.
They're gone. They're gone.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like they're gone completely. So fair play to Liverpool. I think Liverpool have been the best side of the decade.
Klopp, what do you think about Klopp, man?
Well, I think someone posted it in the group today where they showed the top 10 highest spending managers. Obviously number 1 was Jose Mourinho, followed by Ancelotti.
Let me read that out actually. Just hold on there. If I can find it quick for the listeners. You should have it on your phone. Where's your phone?
My phone's on charge. But,
yeah, so he's talking about the top spending managers of, was it the decade?
Yeah, of the last decade.
Okay, so I'll read it out for you guys. All right, so in 10th place was Unai Emery, 705 million euros, 63 signings. The majority of that was done at PSG, yeah, definitely. Wow, no, was it?
Yeah. But Neymar came for 200 and something million.
Yeah. Rafa Benitez, 9th, 753 mil, 92 signings. Claudio Ranieri in 8th, 801 million, 95 signings. Mancini, 802 mil, 79 signings. Wenger, 964 mil, 103 signings, which spans how many? 20 years. Allegri, 1 billion in 5th, 87 signings. Pellegrini, 1.1 billion in 4th, 82 signings. Guardiola, 1.2 billion. Now hear this, 52 signings. 52 signings. Ancelotti, 1.2 billion, 85 signings in 2nd. And then Jose Mourinho, 97 signings, 1.6 billion. So yeah.
So the important thing is Klopp's name wasn't mentioned in that list.
And Fergie's not there either. That's mad. After all those years.
Of the decade, wasn't it? Or is it?
Decade.
No, it's history.
Oh, it's history, yeah. So it's not decade.
Yeah, but then look at Fergie's time. The inflation, football's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, Klopp though.
So yeah, let's take Fergie out of this, mate. but yeah, no. If we look at it, Klopp's name's not there. I think from Dortmund days, you got an idea that this guy can identify ability and talent. Now, I don't know if you're a Liverpool fan, you might be able to tell me if this is true, yeah? I heard now that Klopp and his team, they have like a way of scouting players that's basically based on algorithms. So it generates stats on players and that's how they identify their transfer targets. I don't know how true that is, but either way, like I said, from Dortmund days, guys like Lewandowski came through there. Guys like Royce came through there.
Kagawa was good.
Kagawa came through there. Hummels came through there. Yeah, so, and then you look at Liverpool, he's made signings that were around the guys that were already there that have benefited your team. So.
And he signed is it 5-year deal? Was it 4-year deal? So he's going to be here for another
5-year deal till 2024. Yeah, answer to your question, he does. I don't know their names. He does, yeah. I've seen... So that's pretty cool. I think Minamino is one of our new signings. He's one of them. We've actually seen him play in the Champions League against us anyway. So he was smiling when he scored against us, so it meant a lot. Yeah, you are right. So in terms of that, I think with Borussia Dortmund, he played a blinder. Just thinking back at it, Lewandowski, Hummels, Goetze, Blaszczykowski.
The Bundesliga at that time was under the Bayern chokehold. Pep was just, even before Pep, the manager before him.
And now he's doing what he did to Pep in the Bundesliga in the Premier League.
I asked this last week, yeah? I'll ask you again. Now I've got a Liverpool fan here.
Yeah, I heard it, yeah.
Is Pep, if Pep does like choose to leave, because he hasn't signed, has he? Has Pep signed?
No, I don't think he's still's not up this season. I think it's next season.
Okay, if he doesn't renew and he says he wants to go on a quote unquote sabbatical again or something like that, where he wants to take a break, or come on, because this is a challenge now. Like, you got pushed last season, which you faced it and you won, 1 point in it. Now you've got a proper opponent here, a dancing partner. Yeah. And if you go again and let Klopp dominate again, like, or whatever, like how they didn't leave the same time as Bundesliga. He left before. Yeah. So, I mean...
Yeah, but you have to remember, man, like, City have been dealt some shit cards this season, man. Like, the injury to Sane really early on, the injury to Laporte really early on, like... Liverpool, don't get me wrong, Liverpool's form that's got nothing to do with it. But I think that there's a lot of games that City have dropped points that they wouldn't necessarily have dropped points if they had their full team.
Sam, I'm glad you brought that microphone back to me, because I did say, shout out Coach, by the way. I never met him, but I really enjoyed having him on the podcast. I remember him saying early in the season that Liverpool don't get many injuries. Well, firstly, that's a myth. We haven't had our goalkeeper for the first 10, 11 games. Fabinho's now been out and we've won every single game. Dejan Lovren came into the side.
Oh, come on. You're not saying Lovren.
No, Lovren was playing with Van Dijk.
Oh, I thought you meant he's injured, that you miss him.
Oh, he was playing with Van Dijk. Then he got injured. And then when we had to play Henderson at centre-back in the game against Monterrey in the FIFA World Club. So we had 3 centre-backs missing because Van Dijk was also injured that game as well. This is mad when you think about it. I hope it's mad to you guys as well. These guys Manchester City have 5 fullbacks. They have Cancelo, Walker, Angelino, Mendy, Zinchenko, Garcia. I think he's a fullback. We've only got 2 fullbacks. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson. We'll either play Gomez right back, which I hate if we have to, or we'll play Milner left back, which is fine 2 years ago when he did do a job. We've got our youngster, his name is Keanu Hoover, who has played fullback for us. He's actually a centre back, and the job Liverpool have done without those injuries and without the cover, like how Manchester City have, deserve a lot of credit. So I do think it's a bit of a myth. I understand how important, how big Mrs. Laporte is. Listen, I mean, no one told Pep Guardiola not to sign another centre back. So I mean, he missed out there.
No, they didn't want to pay the money for Maguire, but Shahab makes a good point. I mean, you're saying they've been dealt a harsh blow, but this is Man City we're talking about, who the checkbook is there, like,
and that's the reason why I think Pep will stay for another year, and I think that City will be a lot more competitive next season for City versus Liverpool, because that's what the Premier League is going to be for the next at least 3-4 years until another team can elevate.
So yeah, by the time you guys hear this, it'll be a couple of days before the new year 2020. What's your top moments of 2019? For like, it might not even be your team. It might not even be your team, but just like, if it is your team, whatever, just what's your top moments of 2019?
I think for me, it's quite easy, obviously, being a Liverpool fan. The Barcelona game, I'll never forget ever in my life.
Second leg.
The second leg, yeah. The best night of my life. I was crying with happy tears. When James Milner is from Leeds, Yorkshire, he's crying about Liverpool. Yeah, it meant a lot. That one.
I was on holiday, yeah. And the first leg was 3-0. Messi banged that free kick.
Yeah, and that game, actually, Liverpool were unlucky to lose 3-0.
Yeah, I thought it was harsh, but I thought the scoreline, there's no way. I was on my holiday. No,
it was 3-0.
3-0. So I was on holiday. I was in Thailand, and I was with the man them. I was like, yeah, the game is on. The time difference, so I didn't get to watch the match live. Yeah. I woke up and I saw that Liverpool had qualified. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. Like,
well, yeah, that one for sure. I mean, I'll never forget that. And it's, like you said, the best night of my life. Yeah. That, and in a football perspective, Kompany's absolute rocket of a goal. And what, I mean, funnily enough, that from I'm seeing as a Liverpool fan.
That's what I'm saying. For you to put it as top moments, yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it was the Monday Kompany hit that goal and Liverpool won the next day against Barcelona. I couldn't believe it. In my head, I was thinking, oh, go on then, hit it. And he does hit it and he scores. And I'm surprised to see him not got a statue of him yet, because that was definitely for me, those top two moments were that one. And I say Ajax Champions League story was nice. Tottenham doing their thing as well. But
for me, I'm going to just go straight to Paris. PSG, we had no right. Man United had no right to. This is when Oli was at the wheel, the Benz, the new one, and Man United came back, and beat PSG to qualify for the Champions League. That was a big moment for me this year.
I mean, it's not that big. It's not that big a moment. It hasn't been a very great year, but I'll just say Eden Hazard's last game for Chelsea to beat Arsenal in the Europa League final. Yeah, but I mean, I'll take it. It's the last time I got to see Eden Hazard in a Chelsea shirt. Great legend. Truly missing the club, but yeah, man, that's my moment.
Who would you say has been the top player of this year? Like any position, who's been the best player this year?
Oh, Mane.
Yeah, for me, it's Mane.
Yeah, Mane. I think obviously Van Dijk's just.
Wait. You're a Liverpool fan, so who's the most important player in your team?
Virgil van Dijk.
Van Dijk.
No doubt about that.
Okay.
And that's why I think he should be. I think he's the best player 2019.
He's on Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I think Mane's in with a shout as well. I mean, Messi had a great season. With the numbers he has, you have to put him up there in the list. I still believe either one of the two Liverpool guys should have won, but then at the same time, you can't really put Mane in the same conversation with Messi's stats and numbers. So, for me, Van Dijk, you take Van Dijk on that side and he put crosses into Liverpool. Liverpool flapped them like they did 2-3 years ago.
But out of Mane and Salah, who's more important, would you say? Or do you think they're equal?
I'm going to get abused again. I did say Salah maybe a year ago. I think Sadio Mane, the amount of key goals that this guy has scored, I think he's the most important for Liverpool. So yeah, Mane.
Mane, yeah. But yeah, so Mane is your top player of the year?
Yeah, I think hands down, like in terms of big moments, big goals, important goals, I'll never forget that goal he put past Neuer against Bayern Munich. He had no right to score that goal, and that's the thing. He scores the best looking goals. Like when you see him score a goal, it's like it's just a beauty. Like so, yeah, man. I go Mane.
Next year, who would you say is gonna have a big year? Like, might be a young player. Who's gonna be a standout player? Might not be a young player. Might just be a player like you already said, Mane. But who next year do you think is gonna turn up?
I can't even answer. I know Stelios first, actually.
Go on.
I was gonna banter coach. I was gonna say Mason Mount, but no.
It might not even be. It might be in Europe, all across Europe. Like you got the Mbappes, you got players that are coming into their prime.
I mean,
who are you excited to watch? If that's the easier way to put it.
I think KDB. Because he had a massive injury to start this year. He was a massive miss last season at points. But you've seen it from this season how influential he's been for City in games. And I think this is going to be a calendar year now that hopefully he stays fit. And I think he's really going to elevate.
I'm excited to see Chelsea with the youngsters. So either one of those guys. I quite like to. I mean, I forgot to mention earlier that Tariq Lamptey was quite good. So I think the amount of talent you guys have, I'm excited to see one of the Chelsea guys next year. De Bruyne is a good shout. I'm still curious to see what one of these Spanish clubs do, all three of them, because at the moment I don't see any of them with future talent. I like the look of Ansu Fati of Barcelona, so I'm looking forward to see him play.
Haaland's gone to Dortmund from what they're saying. He might have a good year with Dortmund in Bundesliga.
That was a good. I think that was a smart move. I know United were linked with it. It's not hating on United or anything. I just think that Haaland, the way he plays, is very suited to the Bundesliga. If you look at the Bundesliga strikers, a lot of them have his frame and big guy, and he's surprisingly agile for his size. And I think Dortmund just have a great history of developing talent. So good. I think it was a very smart move for him. Very smart move.
One thing I can say is in terms of play, I think with teams, there's a huge year for nearly every team. For Manchester United's progression, for Chelsea, see whether they can handle the pressure if they get in the top four. That is, Arsenal. They don't want to be falling behind. They need to start picking up results. Whether Liverpool can maintain the consistency because they've had the same team for nearly 3-4 years. So it's a huge year for everyone. Manchester City, they're going to have to come roaring back as well.
Even if you want to take Europe, I think Real Madrid, they're rebuilding. They got a big year.
Yeah, I get I think the Real Madrid project is kind of stalled. Do you remember that period?
What I'm trying to say, if they're not careful, this next calendar year, we could see a Barcelona takeover again.
Yeah, but do you remember that period where they lost? I think it was just post Galacticos, and they went like 7 years, 8 years without winning.
2 times under Ronaldo with Barca.
And I just think that the transfers, the manager that they've got, I think Zidane, I don't think is the right man. I think he shouldn't have gone back. He should have just cashed in on his Champions League win. I just think they need new ideas, and that's why I'm excited about the Premier League. The young managers that are there, I agree. I'm very excited to see Chelsea. You got the Reece James, Mason Mount, Loftus-Cheek to come back. Can't wait for him to come back. I think that's going to be a massive addition. And then Arteta as well. I want to see what Arsenal do with him. So it's going to be a good year.
I mean, Arteta, if Arsenal continue this way, they're going to have 1 game a week next season, where Arteta can easily, we've seen under Conte, Rodgers, you can work with your team all week, drills, get it to the players' heads that what the game plan is.
But even Ole Gunnar, I think United, I want to see what you guys do in January, because if the signings are anything like your summer window transfers, then you could be looking at some great additions this winter. So Chelsea, let's see who we had. I think 2020 is just going to be a great year for football. I'm
going to say Mbappe. I think I want to see what Mbappe does 2020. No, that's when you're talking about Real Madrid. I think that's the sign they'll do. I don't know if Pogba's going to go there. I don't know how they're going to get the funds, but I think Mbappe will replace Benzema. And he will have a big year.
I think they're more likely to go for Neymar than they are Mbappe.
Neymar's going back to Barca, and I'm hearing Shahab actually, if Neymar goes to Barca, I'm hearing PSG want Mane.
I'm not worried one bit about that. Don't worry about it.
It's not leave. You don't think he'll leave?
I think that's the thing. I think every Liverpool player that's playing in that team right now feels like they're playing at the top level, and I think they're all happy there. They just love playing for club.
They might be looking at Coutinho's when Coutinho thought the grass was greener, and
that Coutinho thing's a blessing in disguise, you know, like, because I think that was a real lesson to them, especially like the Champions League thing as well. Like, anyone who thinks you're bigger than the club, Klopp was like, "What? You're the biggest player? Yeah, don't worry, you can't go now, but when I say you can go, and when you go, I'm gonna do fine without you." And that's exactly what happened.
Before we get out of here, start sub sell. Who did I have? So midfield. So you got a start one, you got a sub one, you got a sell one. Do you know how this goes?
Yeah, I heard it yesterday. Last week, sorry. Yeah.
We'll go Sergio Busquets, Kante, and who the hell was the last one? Oh, Fernandinho. Start one, sell one, sub one, defensive mid, CM, whatever.
Okay.
One game, final.
Well, the easy one. Start's gonna be Kante.
Even though you weren't starting for your own team. Are you hearing this guy? Even though you weren't starting for your own team.
I wouldn't start Busquets or Fernandinho for Chelsea. So
You wouldn't start Fernandinho for Chelsea?
no.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just the way we play now. Like, do you get what I'm saying? The style of and I didn't say I wouldn't start Kante, but I said Jorginho and Kovacic have to start.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't like Kante further up ahead of other people.
Get back to
Okay. But yeah, Kante start, sub Busquets, sell Fernandinho. I think Fernandinho's done, man. I think not done, but I think his age.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, it's a hard. It's an unfair one because we're looking at Fernandinho now, and let me say in their prime. No, I'm changing it to in their prime.
Come on.
No, because it's easy now to say Fernandinho's older now. Blah blah blah. Like let's just talk about Fernandinho 2 years ago where City was winning the leagues and that. Fernandinho, Kante.
I still start Kante. I have Kante's ability.
I think Fernandinho has been the best DM in the league for maybe about 2 years. I mean, you know what? Yeah, no, Kante, no, but I'm saying Kante won the league with Leicester and then came Chelsea and won it as well. Yeah.
And then won the World Cup.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, who you going for?
I think now I'll probably go the same with you. Kante, Busquets, and Fernandinho. Fernandinho has been incredibly underrated for Manchester City. If you're saying prime, I don't know. I might say Busquets ahead of Kante. Just
Same here. Hop up Busquets.
Yeah, I mean Busquets is he's been so underrated for that Barcelona winning side. Kante's energy, that's what I love the most about him. But if you're saying right now, I would still say Kante, Busquets, and Fernandinho. But if you're talking about prime, I might just give it to Busquets. But I love Kante, one of my favorite ever players. So it's hard.
That's the last podcast of the year, lads. Listeners, follow us next year. Big things are going. But yeah, man. Appreciate all the listeners. It's been a tough one because this podcast nearly stopped, or the actual YouTube channel stopped. But we thought let's just
Perseverance, baby.
Yeah, let's continue it, and bigger and better things. Keep following us on this journey, and we'll see you next year. Have a good, happy new year, and we'll see you on the other side. Peace and love. Samolo, I'm out. 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 Samolo, I'm out.